With Rob Lewis, Brent Hubbs, VolQuest.com, the fast break. Tennessee's basketball season comes to a crash again as the Volunteers lose to Oregon State in the first round of the NCAA tournament, 70-56. And Rob, this was a good old-fashioned butt whooping behind the shed today.
If you're Tennessee, it's just embarrassing. No, you didn't have John Fulkerson, but you still, you're an 8.5-point, 9-point favorite playing a team that was lucky to be here. Went on a run in the Pac-12 tournament last week, and Tennessee's lost 9 games this year. They've lost 8 of them as the favorite in those games. And today, to me, it was just embarrassing. I didn't think they came out and looked like they were ready to play. Personally, the only guy that I saw that I really felt like had some fire in him was Keon Johnson, and more so in the second half than at any time. Offense, it's been hard to watch at times this year, but 19 points in the first half, just brutal. It's just an all-around awful performance. They didn't look like they were ready to play. They played tight. They played timid. And in a game between a 5 and a 12 seed, they let the 12 seed be an aggressor and controlled the whole afternoon.
Tennessee gets 4 points in 9.5 minutes in the first half. That puts you in a big hole. In the second half, Rob, they had a couple of opportunities to perhaps make it a run, but missed threes. They finished 5 of 26 on the day, missed layups. They were just bad offensively all day.
It didn't feel like they got anything easy. And this isn't a great Oregon State defensive team by any means. And they were in the middle of the pack. They were 7th in Pac-12 and field goal percentage defense at 44%. That's not awesome. Tennessee just didn't get anything easy. In the first half, I was really trying to keep up with it. I thought they got 5 really clean looks at the basket. They were all from 3, and they were all bricks. Other than that, it looked like Oregon was contesting everything. Tennessee wasn't creating opportunities for each other. They had 3 assists in the first half. They led the SEC in assists this year, and in the first half they have 3. They're not getting to the basket. They shot 2 free throws in the first half. They were better in the second half, but I'm just talking about how timid, how just out of sorts, just they looked completely disconnected in that first half, and they weren't great in the second half by any means, but they doomed themselves. Oregon went ahead 21-11 with 6:32 left in the game. Tennessee played with a double-digit deficit the rest of the afternoon, 34.5 minutes.
Yep, never got it to into single digits. A couple of things as we wrap it up. Big picture stuff here. Offensively, it was a struggle for this team all year long, Rob. What's the retool? What does Tennessee have to do offensively moving forward? And secondly, what will be your takeaway from this team? A team that started ranked 5th in the country at one point. What's your takeaway from this team?
First off, what they need more of a pure point guard. They need somebody that can beat guys off the dribble and create. They're getting one. They're getting probably the best high school kid in the country at doing that. Now, what pieces do they add around him? I know some people hate to hear it, but if Keon and Jaden are back here, then you don't know how the NBA draft works. And as far as my takeaway, just missed opportunities. Even without Fulkerson today, this is a game you should lose with the talent Tennessee has. We go back to the preseason, you're bringing back a second-team All-SEC player in Fulkerson. You're adding the 2 highest-rated freshmen that Rick Barnes assigned in Knoxville, 2 guys who, according to the experts, are as good as advertised. They look like one-and-done players. And you're bringing back the SEC Defensive Player of the Year and 2 other experienced guards. No surprise, you're picked to win the SEC, and you don't. It's not a crime to say you didn't live up to the hype, but this team just, I don't know if they ever gelled. They ever had an identity. And to me, I think you're going to look back when you look at the NBA, what these 2 kids do in the NBA, as just a big waste of talent.
Certainly a disappointing finish for Tennessee and a disappointing season in a lot of ways as Tennessee finishes the year with a loss to Oregon State. They lose today in the opening round of the NCAA tournament, 70-56. Full coverage coming out throughout the evening as we wrap up the basketball season with Rob Lewis. That's going to do it for this edition of the Fast Break at VolQuest.com.